Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you chase money, it always seems to run faster than you? You work long hours, you hustle, and you stress over every dollar. Yet somehow, true financial freedom always feels just out of reach. What if I told you that chasing money is actually pushing it away? What if the real key to financial success wasn't about grinding non-stop, but about assuming money instead of chasing it? By the end of this video, you'll understand why pursuing money directly makes life harder and how shifting your mindset can make wealth flow effortlessly to you. Trust me, this is the only video you need on this topic. Let's dive in. Let's start with a cold, hard truth. Money doesn't come to those who chase it. It comes to those who attract it. Think about this. If you're constantly chasing something, what does that mean? It means you don't have it. And if you keep reinforcing the belief that you don't have money, the universe, or even just your subconscious mind, will keep you in a state of not having. Ever noticed how desperate salespeople struggle to make sales, while confident, relaxed individuals close deals effortlessly? It's the same principle. When you chase money, you're operating from a place of lack. And people, whether clients, customers, or employers, can sense that energy. Take a look at the wealthiest people in the world. Do they look like they're chasing money, or do they assume money comes to them naturally? This brings us to the next section, the difference between chasing and assuming money. Most people operate from a chasing mentality. They think they need to work harder, grind longer, or find the next big opportunity to get rich. The problem is, this mindset keeps you trapped in an endless cycle of believing that money is something to be pursued rather than attracted. Now, contrast this with those who assume money. They operate with a sense of certainty that wealth flows to them. They make decisions from a place of abundance, not scarcity. They naturally attract opportunities rather than desperately seeking them. Your brain is always scanning for proof of what you believe. If you believe money is hard to get, you'll notice evidence that supports this. But if you assume money comes easily, your brain will begin spotting opportunities that align with that belief. This isn't just some woo-woo theory. There's solid psychology behind it. Your brain has a built-in filter called the reticular activating system, RAS. Its job is to show you information that matches your dominant thoughts and beliefs. Ever bought a new car and suddenly seen that same car everywhere? That's your RAS in action. If you believe making money is difficult, your RAS will filter in evidence that proves you right. But if you believe money flows effortlessly, your RAS will highlight opportunities you previously overlooked. Psychologist Maxwell Maltz, in his book Psycho-Cybernetics, explains that people can only achieve what aligns with their self-image. If deep down you see yourself as broke or struggling, you will subconsciously sabotage any attempt to break free from that reality. And then there's the law of reverse effort. Ever tried to fall asleep by forcing yourself? The harder you try, the more awake you feel. Money works the same way. The more you chase it, the more it slips away. But when you relax into assuming wealth, you align with it effortlessly. So how do you stop chasing money and start assuming it? It starts with changing the way you talk to yourself. Instead of saying, "I need more money," you say, "Money flows to me effortlessly." Instead of thinking, "I can't afford this," you ask, "How can I create more value to receive more wealth?" Wealth isn't just about money, it's a mindset. You need to embody the identity of a wealthy person before the money arrives. Ask yourself, how would a wealthy person think, act, and make decisions? Then start making choices from that place of confidence instead of scarcity. And finally, shift your focus. Instead of asking, "How can I make money?" start asking, "How can I create massive value?" Money is just an exchange of value. The more value you provide, the more wealth you attract. You now understand why chasing money doesn't work and how assuming wealth can change everything. But we're just getting started. In the next section, we'll dive even deeper into how to align your life, actions, and mindset with effortless abundance. Stay tuned, because this is where things get really interesting. Let's apply what we just talked about and let's get practical. Take a moment and affirm this to yourself. I am calm, confident, and ready to receive abundance. Take a moment to write this in the comments below. Writing it down not only reinforces your belief, but also sets the intention. You now understand why chasing money doesn't work and how assuming wealth can change everything. But we're just getting started. In this next section, we're going to explore how to align your life, your actions, and your mindset with effortless abundance using the law of assumption. This is where things get really powerful. The law of assumption, as taught by Neville Goddard, is a principle that has helped countless people shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of limitless potential. It's not about working harder, stressing more, or grinding away. It's about assuming the reality you desire as already true. When you do this, the world around you responds in kind. But don't just take my word for it. Let's break this down step by step so you can start implementing it right away. Before we do that, if this message resonates with you, then you're exactly where you need to be. There's so much more to uncover, and each video is another step toward the life you're creating. If you haven't already, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Let's keep moving forward together. Let's start with clarifying your vision. It's not enough to just dream of a better life. It's about assuming that life is already yours. Neville Goddard taught that everything begins with the assumption of the end result. When you assume that you are already living the life you desire, you activate the creative power of your subconscious mind. Instead of hoping or wishing, you must assume that your desires are already a reality. Visualize it in your mind, feel it in your body, and live in the assumption that your success and wealth are inevitable. This assumption doesn't just help you see your vision more clearly, it starts to bring it into existence. Next, let's talk about your mindset. If you continue to hold beliefs of scarcity or lack, your actions and experiences will reflect that. The law of assumption teaches that you become what you believe. When you assume abundance, your mind will begin to find ways to make that assumption real. Shift your thinking. Rather than saying, "I'll never be able to afford this," try saying, "I am wealthy and money flows to me effortlessly." Instead of thinking, "There's not enough time," affirm, "I have all the time I need to achieve my goals." The power of assumption means that your mind will create the circumstances to match your new belief. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's about taking active assumption, a practice of faith that taps into the subconscious mind's ability to turn your assumed reality into your actual experience. Here's where most people get stuck. They take action from a place of desperation. They think they need to hustle and grind to make things happen. But aligned action is different. It comes from the assumption that what you desire is already on its way. You must act as if your goal has already been realized. When you do this, opportunities, resources, and people will show up in your life in the most effortless ways. You don't need to force anything. You simply align your actions with the belief that the outcome is inevitable. Ask yourself, what would someone who already has abundance do right now? What actions would they take? When you start moving with that assumption, you'll notice how the world aligns with your energy, and everything you need will fall into place. One of the most important things Neville Goddard teaches is to let go of your attachment to the how. Yes, assume that your vision is already true, but don't cling to the details of how it will unfold. The universe has its own way of bringing things to you, and it often comes in ways that are far better than you could have imagined. Let go of the need to control the process. Trust that everything is unfolding perfectly and that the universe is working with you. The more you surrender the how, the more effortless your journey will become. Finally, practice gratitude. When you're grateful for the abundance you already have, you signal to the universe that you're ready for more. Gratitude amplifies your assumption, making it feel more real and more inevitable. Trust the law of assumption. Trust that your desires are already fulfilled. Trust that everything you need to bring your vision to life is already in motion. The universe, your subconscious mind, and everything around you is working in your favor to bring the abundance you've assumed into your reality. As you begin to apply these principles, remember, this is a process. It's not about overnight change. It's about consistently living in the assumption that abundance is already yours. When you do this, everything will begin to shift. Opportunities will appear, money will flow, and life will feel easier. The more you embody this assumption, the more your reality will reflect it. You've already learned how assuming wealth can change everything, but now it's time to take it a step further. The true power of the law of assumption lies in how deeply you commit to the assumption of abundance. This is where things get exciting, because once you understand how to really live from your assumptions, your life begins to shift effortlessly. At this point, you might be asking yourself, how can I make this assumption feel real? The answer is simpler than you think. Live it. This isn't just about saying affirmations or visualizing your desires, though these tools are powerful. It's about fully embodying the belief that what you want is already yours. This means adopting a mindset that wealth and success are not only possible, but inevitable. And here's the secret. Your assumption shapes everything. When you assume the outcome you desire, you automatically act, think, and feel in a way that aligns with that outcome. It's like turning your life into a self-fulfilling prophecy. The key to making the law of assumption work for you is living in that assumption every single day. Imagine waking up and already knowing that your financial goals are in motion. Picture yourself confidently taking actions that align with your abundant life, knowing full well that it's already unfolding. The difference between wishing for something and assuming it's yours is energy. When you wish for something, you're operating from a place of lack, from a mindset that something is missing. But when you assume that wealth is yours, your energy shifts to one of abundance and confidence. You become magnetic to the opportunities, people, and resources that will bring your desires into reality. Now here's where it gets really powerful. Your thoughts are constantly shaping your reality. If you're thinking about the lack of money, the scarcity, or the struggles you face, that's exactly what you'll experience more of. But when you assume wealth, your thoughts begin to shift and you start thinking in terms of abundance. So, how do you master your mind? First, become aware of your thoughts. When you notice yourself slipping into a mindset of lack or limitation, stop and reframe the thought. For example, instead of thinking, "I don't have enough money," think, "I am worthy of limitless wealth, and money flows to me easily." The more you consciously shift your thoughts, the more you reinforce the assumption that wealth is already yours. Let's talk about living in your assumption. You might be wondering, how do I really make the assumption feel real? Well, here's the key. Live it. It's not just about thinking your desires into existence. It's about feeling them in your bones. Imagine already living the life you want. How does it feel to wake up with no worries about money? Picture the relief, the excitement, the confidence of knowing you're financially free. When you can tap into that feeling, you align yourself with abundance. And guess what? The more you live in that feeling, the more it shows up in your life. It's about becoming that person right now. Now, let's talk about acting from that place of certainty. A lot of people get confused here. They think assuming your desires is enough. But it's not just about thinking it, it's also about acting on it. And here's the twist. You're not acting out of desperation. You're acting from a place of certainty. When you know that your success is already inevitable, you take confident, bold actions. Start asking yourself, what would someone who already has abundance do? What choices would they make? How would they carry themselves? The more you make those choices today, the faster the universe aligns with your assumption. But here's the big one. Letting go of the how. One of the biggest challenges in this process is letting go of the how. The truth is, the how isn't your job. Your job is to live in the assumption that your desires are already real, and then take inspired action from that place of certainty. When you trust that everything is already unfolding, the universe will bring everything to you at the perfect time. You don't need to figure it all out right now. Just trust that the right opportunities, people, and resources will show up as you stay aligned with your assumption. Gratitude is the secret ingredient to supercharging your assumption. Gratitude plays a huge role in this process. When you start expressing gratitude for the abundance you already have, you send a signal to the universe that you're ready for more. Gratitude strengthens your assumption and helps you stay positive. Every day, pause and reflect on what you're grateful for, whether it's money, opportunities, or simply being alive. The more gratitude you express, the more abundance comes into your life. Trust the process and let everything fall into place. And finally, trust the process. When you assume that your desires are already yours, trust that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if it's not always clear right now. Sometimes the path might take unexpected turns, but every step is leading you closer to the abundance that's meant for you. When you trust, you stop resisting or doubting the process. You let the universe work its magic in your favor. Trust is the foundation of everything, and once you have that, things start to fall into place effortlessly. So, now that you've got the tools in your hands, let's talk about one thing that's key to making the law of assumption work for you. Consistency. It's not a one-time fix or something you do when you feel like it. You need to make it a part of your daily routine. When you consistently assume that your desires are already fulfilled, you'll see your reality start to shift. But here's the thing. It's easy to fall back into old habits. You might find yourself questioning whether this will really work or doubting your progress. And honestly, that's normal. It happens to everyone. The key is catching yourself in those moments and refocusing. Remind yourself that your desires are already yours, and the more you do this, the easier it gets. Soon, it won't feel like work at all. It'll just be part of who you are. Now, I want to talk about taking inspired action. This is where a lot of people get stuck because they think they have to grind, hustle, and do a million things to make things happen. But the truth is, inspired action isn't about forcing anything. It's about moving from a place of certainty. When you live from the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled, you won't need to chase opportunities. They'll come to you naturally. You'll feel pulled toward the right things, whether that's a conversation you need to have, an idea that pops into your head, or an action that just feels right. And when you feel that pull, take action. Don't hesitate. Trust it, because that's your inner guidance telling you that you're aligned with your desires. The action you take from this place will always feel effortless, and that's when you know you're on the right track. But here's something else. You've got to let go of the need for perfection. Perfection is a trap. If you wait for the perfect moment or the perfect plan, you'll be waiting forever. The universe doesn't work in perfect timing. It works with your willingness to move forward. When you assume that what you want is already yours, let go of the pressure to make everything perfect. Start taking action, even if it feels messy at first. The more you act, the clearer things will become. And soon, you'll find that everything is falling into place without you having to force it. You might be wondering, how do I know this is working? Here's the best part. You'll start seeing the signs. They might be small at first, like a new opportunity that shows up, or a random conversation that feels meaningful. These are signs from the universe that you're on the right path. And you've got to celebrate those little moments. They're proof that your assumption is taking shape. The more you notice these signs, the clearer it becomes that your desires are already manifesting. Keep paying attention, because these signs are your confirmation. Now that we've covered all of this, let's bring it all together. Your abundance is already yours. The wealth, the success, the freedom, it's all waiting for you to step into it. The law of assumption isn't something that makes things appear out of nowhere. It's a tool that helps you realize that it's already here. By living as though everything you want is already yours, you start to shift your reality. You stop chasing after something you don't have and start living from the knowing that you already do. All right, before we wrap this up, I want you to take action now. Close your eyes and really feel what it would be like to already have everything you want, whether it's wealth, success, or freedom. Visualize it, feel it. Now, as a commitment to your abundance, write it down in the comments below. I am calm, confident, and ready to receive abundance. By sharing that affirmation, you're strengthening your belief, reaffirming your assumption, and taking one more step toward creating the life you desire. It's your time. The universe is already working for you. You just have to step into the reality that's waiting for you. Now, if you follow these steps and stay consistent with your assumptions, you'll start to see the changes you've been waiting for. It might take a bit of time, but remember, everything you need is already within you. Before you go, make sure to hit the subscribe button and join the journey of creating effortless abundance. This is just the beginning, and I promise you won't want to miss what's next. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.